Hey, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of the Smite World Championship qualifiers. We're going to be going into the EU portion of this. Europe is now clashing together. The first round is about to begin. In fact, some games have already begun. But first off, I am joined by our newest addition to the casting team here, Hindu Man. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Little nervous, but things will be fine once we get in game and my face is not on the damn screen right now. That'd be great. We can just move on. Get into casting.
All right, so first off, let's go ahead and introduce yourself. I mean, where did you come from? Where did you experience the casting, and how much do you love Smite?
Okay, Smite is amazing. Jesus. I'm like, wow, I've not heard about this. It's ridiculous. Like I came to this game and I was like, what is this? I played in alpha for a little while and was like, oh, this game looks okay. It's interesting. But it didn't grab my attention. And then a few friends a couple of months back started playing and I was like, oh, holy mother of this is amazing. I was like, wow, it's like actual skill involved with the auto attack. Every single auto attack. You have to make sure you land yourself and you can body block. And it's really, really good. So I'm really excited to be able to cast this week, especially for EU. And the EU scene is amazing right now. So being able to sit here after week 1 and look at these teams like Cloud9 coming out, well, not coming out of nowhere, but, putting on a show last week, and will they do the same this week?
Yeah, so as far as the lineup goes for today's bracket, we're going to be starting off with Agilitas versus Valhalla gaming. Of course, Agilitas, that team lineup we've seen before. Cobra Kai is on that team. We've seen, of course, we have Zindert on there, Murder, a lot of names you've seen before. They're kind of coming together, and of course, placing 6th seed this week. Definitely a strong showing from last week. We're starting off with them very shortly here. Now, last week we saw a pretty strong contention. We talked a lot about that on Face Off, how Young Bay was kind of booted from TSM, picked up by C9. They swapped with Smek, and then it was a 2-0 victory for C9. Very, very, very strong performance there. So we're watching him to see how he does this week, but also, I mean, you talked about it yourself, Hindu. It's just the fact that we have Worth Gaming coming out very, very strong as well. I5 is there. So there's a lot of strong contenders going into this week that I'm excited to see how the bracket progresses.
But on top of that, Dre, you've also got SK Gaming that didn't have a great showing. They got beat in the first round against I5, but I don't think they're out of contention yet. They were one of the teams that went to the launch tournament and played as well. So we've got them. We've also got Bloody Tech, Exposed Secrets, which was formerly known as iKick, which is made up of a lot of players that played on different teams there. So it's a lot of contention in EU overall.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely a big, strong showing for them as well. I mean, we have a Frostiak, some of those kind of coming together. And when we have this history, right, we've had this a couple times. In fact, ironically enough, Exposed Secrets, Victorious Secrets, they're usually the ones that comprise of the people that, and Team Kicked is the joke, of course. A lot of players did come from strong teams that didn't make it to the final roster or whatever. Shadow Nightmare, also one of them, who had his own team and, of course, playing very well, and then didn't make it to the total there. So, we're looking to see if they can perform today. They have been performing quite well, but not all the way up at the top. Exposed Secrets got knocked out last week as well. So, I mean, there's some players to watch and some not to. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that, like in North America, we have Denial coming into 5 Angry Men, of course. There's that awkward period, right, where you have to figure out the camaraderie, the brothership to kind of come and see, can we talk to each other? Can we communicate? Yeah. Can we coordinate? Is this working? Are you in the right role? Should you be playing Hunter, Jungle? And you kind of give them a couple weeks to kind of get everything locked in. But once they do, they have the talent to push it all the way to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, talking about that, I mean, the fact of like teams mixing it up and getting used to each other with TSM and Cloud9, with both having new hunters from the role switch, it looked like Cloud9 developed quicker on understanding their new hunter that they've got on their team now, and it seemed to work out very well for them. I think TSM though with Smek will be strong. I think they just need to work a little bit better on communication now that they've got that new member in. I think Cloud9 just developed quicker with Young Bay.
Yeah, Young Bay and Smek, both very, very strong players. Young Bay has been an item since the beginning of those beta of Smite. He was at, the very first PAX East showing, then PAX Prime, PAX East again. And, there's just a lot of things you can be really excited about for Young Bay, but Smek's no slouch either. Smek probably one of the most consistent players we've seen before, always hitting the same marks. In fact, he was one of the first few players to pick up Neath, of course, slightly after Game Hunter, but of course he moved away from the Hunter role after the fact, but Smek just played Neath consistently, even on Cupid. So, we've seen Smek be very, very strong before, and after them winning the launch event, of course, the winners of, just for their team, about $106,000, a huge, huge win for them. Picking up Smek, it seemed like it was a good addition. condition until last week, where Youngbait just came out and just dominated 10-1 on one of those games. So we're just waiting for the first game to get started here. Of course, it's going to be Agilitas versus Valhalla Gaming, a very, very strong start here. Now, it's going to be Seed 6 versus a higher seed. Valhalla Gaming hasn't really been a big name before. We've actually seen a lot of new teams. There's 6 or 7 new teams today, starting off the bracket, which is fantastic. As these points start to get rolling along, we're going to see people kind of get ahead. Of course, the difference between first place and second place, 100 seeding points for first, 60 seeding points for second. So the gap can grow very quickly if you're getting repetitive first place.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like what we saw in North America, Dignitas now have a 2-week advantage where they will stay at number 1. And if Cloud9 win this week, it'll be exactly the same, where Cloud9 has like a buffer of 2 weeks where they could do very, very badly and still be top. So it's very important for Cloud9 to continue what they did last week. But at the same time, there's still opportunities for teams like i5, for TSM, to start trying to take away that point and chip away at that lead they already built. But we're into this Champion Select finally between Valhalla Gaming and... we should be there any moment with Agilitas as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we're pulling up on screen so you can see how the picking stage goes. Now, as far as bans go, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised if Bastet goes away. Odin is always a consideration. Senokong are always a consideration. Warriors are very, very powerful here. Even after the nerf, people still have been banning out Zeus. A lot of it just comes down to the mid-cam control as well as the mid-game showing that he's able to bring out. Has the ultimate, of course, the chain lightning combination. The detonate comes out. Now, Zeus is not 100-0 mage. He's not built that way. But he is 100-20% mage. And so if you get that damage out with any kind of assistance, it's very easy for Zeus to kind of control the mid game, especially when you're going to objectives. He has the bouncing off the Gold Fury, he has the bouncing off the Fire Giant, his ultimate comes out as well. So it's very easy for him to be able to control the zone here. And so we're going to wait to see exactly what comes out from them. Poseidon banned out, of course. We got Bastet banned out on top. I mean, it's very powerful.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Bastet definitely needs banning out. We saw how well she performed. I wonder if we'll see a Scylla ban so far in this.
Scylla ban would be huge. I think that she's a character that really doesn't... When she came out, she didn't really get the respect that she should have gotten, so it's really challenging to kind of decide how that would work out. Ur is going to be banned out as well as Zeus here, so Zeus, Ur, Bastet, and Poseidon all gone today. First pick here is going to be Odin. Not that surprising, but that does leave a lot of things open.
Yeah, it does leave a lot open. I mean, Scylla's still on the table, some Wukong still on the table as well, so the other support could be picked up there as well. It'll be interesting to see what they choose to go for. I think Scylla being picked up as one of the first picks from them would be a good idea, just because they know Poseidon's out of the game at the moment due to the ban.
Looking like Hoon Bots might be hovered on here, looking for selection. Now, Senokong picked up in response is not really that surprising. As far as the support role, you do want Senokong or Odin. They're very aggressive, high push, but also high damage control and have the ability to get kills early on. And so we're waiting for them to get on there. Looks like Hoonbots is going to be locked in. And Neath is hovered on as well. Looks like that's going to be the Hunter selection for Agilitas. Across the way, they have Apollo already. Now, as this second ban phase comes up, expecting them to go for maybe more into the jungle role, maybe more into the mid lane, and we haven't seen mages come out just yet. With with Poseidon and Zeus already gone, it might be a good idea for both these teams actually to kind of take out the mage they don't want to face.
Yeah, exactly. Take out the mage you don't want to face is exactly right. I mean, Scylla has probably going to be blocked in now soon from them, and I expected that with Poseidon being banned away as well. I mean, Neath being picked up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when we go into the next round of banning to see what else gets taken out.
That's right. Right now we're waiting for the next selection here, so the ban's going to be coming through any minute now. Looks like Isis is going to be banned out, and across the way, Valhalla does not want Ra. So those two mages, like I said, since the fact they already had their hunters, they have their support role, they have a jungle selection as well. You're looking to take out the mid lane roles here. And actually, the fact that they banned out Poseidon and Ra on Valhalla lets me think that they might be putting Scylla into the mid lane here. Ra versus Scylla, one of the worst matchups that Scylla has. It's very difficult for Scylla to use Crush against anyone that can heal, and so with him being gone, the Vulcan being hovered on here by Agilitas to see if they want to go with that selection a little bit different. Now, they may not be taking this game as seriously, but Vulcan can be used to high effectiveness. It's just very challenging to do so.
Yeah, it is very challenging to do so. I mean, we know that it's very difficult to land the Earthshaker. The Earthshaker is a real issue at the moment. So Sorry about that. With the Earthshaker being the way it is right now, it's very difficult to land in the team fights. It does great damage at the long range when it's used at its max effect, but to get into those situations and have that happen is really, really difficult, and it's very, very skill dependent. Whereas there's a lot of other mages that can deal with that issue a lot easier and not have to be so reliant on skill.
So it looks like Vulcan and Nuwa locked in here for Agilitas. Very different. Now, the fact they have Neith means that Nuwa is most likely going into the solo lane. Humat's in the jungle, Odin and Neith laning up together, and then Vulcan in the mid lane. It looks like it will be most likely Vulcan versus Scylla, is what I would imagine, given the fact that the way they banned, the way they've been acting here. So it's going to be Sunu calling with Apollo there. Tyr most likely going into the jungle role, and Zhonghui in the short lane, the solo lane. Now, with Zhonghui being selected here, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, is he still effective? And he actually is. The fact that he got nerfed so hard with CC immunity coming off his ultimate does not necessarily mean that he can't be used. He is just purely damaged, and he does it quite well. In fact, mid and late game, if Zhonghui has a pretty nice saturation of gold and good item selection with a decent amount of penetration, he will be able to burst you 100 to 0 within a 2-second window very, very quickly, and of course has the ability to heal himself with some natural protection. So Zhonghui, even though he is kind of like the questionable pick now, is still very useful, and with the lineup they have on Valhalla, it's going to give more segues for Scylla's ultimate to be able to get the last hit, and of course be used again. Apollo can dunk from above and clean up. I think they actually have a very, very strong lineup here for Valhalla. The Agilitas, a little bit more on the edgy side, looking for that strong showing in the beginning. If they fall behind early, Agilitas does not really have the team makeup to deal with it.
No, I don't think they do. I mean, I think Agilitas at the moment, if they can snowball ahead at the start, then yeah, I think Valhalla are going to have an issue. We know how strong Scylla is late game, though. So if we can get to late game and Tyr can get snowballing early as well, then Valhalla have a very, very good team comp going into the later stages. But then, take into account, Agilitas have that new war sat there. And as the game goes on, the damage that she will be able to produce as the game goes on will be ridiculous.
Well, that's kind of the thing about Nuwa. She just doesn't exist for the first 10 minutes, and then, she starts to exist at 20 minutes, and then after that, it just kind of just explodes upwards. So, looks like we're beginning this game, guys. We're going to cut to a brief break. We'll be right back with the first game of today. It's going to be Agilitas versus Valhalla Gaming. All eyes on these two teams to see if they can make it in the next round of preliminaries for today's Week 2 Smite World Championship qualifiers. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hey. Yeah, everyone, and welcome back to the first matchup of today. Week 2 Smite World Championship underway here. Agilitas versus Valhalla Gaming is what you're watching right now. Let's go to introduce the teams and the players. The bottom side of the map, the blue team, the green grass. Agilitas here, of course, Zindern's team coming out strong for today. Pretty prime on Vulcan, the legendary Vulcan with that black boot. Cobra Kai playing Nuwa in the solo lane. Murder on support with Odin. Zindern playing Neith in the hunter role, and then Lena on Hoon Bots in the jungle.
And on the other side of the map, we're going to have Team Valhalla Gaming. Leading that off is going to be Get Fisher, Parvulus playing that Sun Wukong support, Labruzo on Tyr in the jungle, Sejogi on Scylla in the middle lane, and Man of Glory, I was about to say, then slightly wrong, but Man of Glory going to be playing Zhonghui, looking like going to be the mid lane there, Dry.
So difference in starting items for the mages here on Valhalla. Of course, you're going to have Lost Artifact for Sogi. He's going to be going for that early rod. For Man of Glory for Zhonghui, he's going to go for that tiny trinket. Now, he can turn this into Polynomicon, but more likely for Zhonghui, it's probably going to be a Bancroft's Talon. So scaling that up early. But you can see with the Vampiric Shroud and a little extra damage and Lifesteal, he's going to be pretty safe off there. And same thing goes for Scylla with that MP5 and Magic Power across the way. You see both hunters start the same exact way. You get the Morning Star, which is Heartseeker 1, and Death Toll with 1 single health potion, hoping to get that blue. Let's see, mid lane stolen away. Both mid camps will go to Agilitas here. You see Sun Wukong already starting with the blue buff, still on her way to go over there and help out with 1 single crush. The blue buff will be picked up. It looks like Zindern and Murder, they're skipping their own blue.
They have to, because Murder uses Hog on that mid camp to make sure they secured it. And if they actually went to that camp, they could have been rotated on by the 3 members that could have rotated over and caused issues. So they're going to have to come to lane and be slightly behind in XP in terms of it. They'll have to pick it up a little bit later on, but pushing the wave nicely there, Dry, to make sure they hit level 2 first.
Looking for that kill on Apollo. They're harassing him very heavily here. Now the biggest thing about this is because they cleared their way first, Apollo hit, is still level 1, just now hitting level 2, whereas Neith hit level 2 but prior. So the best thing about that is you want to get your hunter to level 2 as fast as possible. That's where they're going to be able to pick up, of course level 1 they pick up their clear mechanic, was Neith's Spirit Arrow Apollo with the So Beautiful, but at level 2 they're able to pick up their escape mechanism, that dash right there he now finally has. Get Fisher able to dash away here, but one thing that's hard about this is going to be the fact that Odin does so much damage at low levels.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why what you saw in the wave clear there, how quickly the Ravens are pushing. Because they've done that, even though there's a ward there, they're going to be free to be able to do their own blue at this point and start taking that XP lead now.
So they're going to clear this out. No hog necessary as they're not even coming over to rotate at all. Needs to be able to clear this out. Now they do have a ward on top of it. You can see that ward is on the ground, placed down by Marvelous, but of course that is nothing they can really contend right now. So no Congo to the backside, you can use the Ox form to clear the wave out, use it in a backward fashion, more in the Agni way. Strong play there as he get Fisher and Marvelous pushing up. But let's get some love over here to the mid lane. Vulcan being very, very aggressive against Scylla here. Scylla is so hard to use in the mid lane against a lot of gods because her early push is very stagnant.
That's right, it is really stagnant. And the one thing about Vulcan that he does have is early game pressure. He's very, very strong. And when that comes out, he can really push the tower consistently. He's just going to be careful of Tyr blinking in behind him. He's got to watch his positioning.
Here, of course, hasn't picked up that blink, but when he does, it's a really big threat for him, as you have to be able to kind of avoid that. Now, the knockup's going to be big there, and Vulcan doesn't have any way of getting himself out of situations like that, but does have some good knockup. Speaking of damage, the right side looks like Man of Glory taking a lot of harassment from Cobra Kai here. Now, the best part about this solo lane is the fact that Nuwa is not great early either, so it's kind of like this reflected mechanism for, Scylla versus Nuwa on opposite teams, that you're really trying to keep them as far ahead as they can early left side.
Murder's hunting in the duo lane right now. Getfish is in a bit of trouble. He does have to juke away from that after the lead came in from Murder. Some nice damage coming over. Humbat's a little bit late to that overall. It would have been nice if he was there as well.
Looks like Vulcan's kind of going over to the mid camps to control these out. Has the turret down a little bit early. Some players are kind of adjusting towards that, but look at this. Scylla about to get collapsed on. She'll need the Sentinel, but the Fear No Evil Bug's going to come out. There he goes. Push him into the wall. Overhead smash coming out here. The burst damage not going to be there. Nadine Ultimate's going to secure it as he Sentinels away. First blood, Agilitas.
Great communication from Agilitas there. Everybody using their abilities correctly to make sure. And the best thing about it, Neef picks up the kill as well, Drybear.
It looks like it's going to pull it up. We do have a replay coming up here to see exactly how that first blood went there. It's going to be coming up on screen any second. Now watch the rotation coming out here. Humbas is going to come for it and force him into the wall. For those who don't know, Fear No Evil is going to be on screen, so you can jump, push him into the wall, fears him, and then tries to get the Sentinel away, but the Neath ultimate will guarantee that kill as he jumps away. Now honestly, I don't think they really needed it, but that's one of the biggest benefits about Neath, is that when you have her, you can secure kills all across the map.
Exactly, and it gives you an advantage on your hunter in lane because she doesn't have to leave the lane or leave experience to go and try and get a kill. She can help and get an assist or a kill in another lane and put pressure on that. So it was really nicely played by Agilitas. Good use of communication there.
Looking at the graph, 1,400 gold in favor of Agilitas right now. 2,400 experience is looking good for them to start off here. Now, keep in mind, they do have Scylla on Valhalla Gaming. For those of you who were paying attention to the picking stage, the Hexcraft did show a very big spike in carry potential for Agilitas, so giving them an early lead is not what Valhalla wants. Bots is invading the top jungle here, looking for a buff. With speed is going to be spawning any second now.
Yeah, good timing on those buffs, so he knows the speed's up. Great rotation over from the solo lane of Nuwa, as well as Murder coming over from the duo lane to make sure they take that one away. So denying Tyr that XP, and we said this earlier, they need to keep denying, but there's the aggression onto the solo lane. He's in a lot of trouble, and Zonqui's going to go down. Lordbringer comes out, he's going to go deep in, but he's surrounded by 3 members in a lot of trouble. He's going to drop 2. The Earthshaker comes off, missing completely, unfortunately, just to add to that, but really big pickups there for Agilitas.
It was a celebration. You just throw out some fireworks. Say, hey, we just got 2 kills. Let's celebrate. Here's a big rocket up in the sky. Oh, it's already over. Left side, though, Neath going to be harassed by a little bit by Apollo here. Backflip is out. Jigabay comes through here. Needs to get a stun. Going to hit the stun there. Zindern. He doesn't have a whole lot of go, but they're out of CC to slow him down. So beautiful Rumor shot. He's dashing in. Parless backed off, though. The support is already out of the fight. Coming back in after the fact. Jingabay's going to hit, but he's got nothing left to hit that unfortunate turn of events there. But speaking of unfortunate, right side tower will go down. Junquei was gone. They killed Tyr to add to the fact, and there was no one to defend that solo tower. It is down, but it's not really that big of a deal for Junquei, though. He'll be able to rotate now, and now he doesn't have to worry about his tower taking gold for him while he's gone.
No, but it is free but global gold as well in favor of Agilitas, and what they're doing at the moment is they're getting kills and they're looking for objectives. It's very important when you get these opportunities to try and take them and get the most of the objectives. At the end of the day, kills don't mean anything if you don't take down the Titan at the end of the game.
That's right. That's right. You watch that gold contain here. Speaking of gold, 2,700 gold in favor of Agilitas right now. They're heading towards that gold fury. Looks like Valhalla might be trying to steal it away here. That would be a great way for them to get back into the game. Now, keep in mind, towers are, the way that they can be looked at is kind of like money in the bank, and just waiting for you to come and collect. That first tier 1 tower are going to be worth a decent amount, but not a whole lot. You know, it used to be a lot more. And so we're kind of waiting to see if that gold is going to be something that they use to get ahead here. Left side looking for Senno Kong to be able to get away with that bird form slow, not going to be applicable to that bird form. Mid camp's respawning here. Tyr spending all his time waiting for it. Now, granted, there's nothing else for him to be doing, but wow.
I thought Lennon was going to walk around into trouble then because he's got no vision whatsoever. Mid-side, though, Harpies are going to go over, by the looks of it, to Agilitas, while the right side is being contested. At the moment, we can see that Vulcan has rotated around there. I'm not sure who got that one in the end.
Ended up going to Valhalla, actually, so right camp went to Agilitas. They're going to get a little bit of gain there. Blink in. There goes the slow. Nito to come out, and Scylla. Big purification beats popped as well as the ultimate. Vulcan. Oh,
that shaker!
Jeez! Him on the ground. Parvus got nowhere to go. Tyr gets out. But, man, that shot.
How much damage did that? That was ridiculous, the amount of damage. What at the moment, all we've got on Vulcan is that Shoes of the Magi, as well as the Star 9, the tiny trinket. That was a lot of damage from the Earthshaker. Great rotation from Agilitas, though. They take out the mid lane and immediately rotate for that Gold Fury for a free pickup. Apollo go across the skies is used, but he has already realized it's gone down. He was too late.
Now, one thing I'm worried about as well, as you can see Labruzzo on Tyr, granted he is second most farm on his team, he's spending a lot of time waiting for camps instead of trying to harass or manage his rotation timers a little bit. So he's spending a lot of time standing around waiting for these camps to come back up, and he's lost golden experience because of it. Now with the control that they have here, with Vulcan with a long distance shot, Neath with a global ultimate, they're able to contribute to a lot of fights that happen. Left side, level 10 Neath versus level 8 Apollo. This is one of the worst feelings in the world. Neath has such a great matchup against almost every hunter in the game. Cupid actually is one of the better matchups for against Neath. In fact, he's probably the best one to go against Neath. But Neath, you know, with the attack speed slow, the ability to heal, the ability to root and stun, and of course, if you stick long enough against a Neath, she has that guaranteed fact that if you back off with low HP, she'll finish you off. It's very easy to, you know, win that 1v1 as a Neath, and the fact that she's far ahead of the Apollo is not good news for him.
No, it's not. And now Getfish has got to be careful because here comes Murder again, looking for aggression, having to back off to the tower as the Winion Wave is pushed in. And to point that out as well, when these 4v4 team fights start breaking out, the Neath can still affect them at the same time as keep Apollo busy for being able to split push for at least a little while longer due to that World Weaver being able to influence the team fight and then rotate over. So she can make an influence from it and keep Apollo busy, which is really important. But look at mid lane. It looks like Scylla could get in a bit of trouble here, Try.
Oh, Humbot's ultimate come out there. There's Overhand Smash, and that's all she wrote. Book ultimate for celebration yet again. Nuwad's over here looking for Junkwei. He's backing up. Odin trapped inside Tyr. Does he have an ultimate available? Looks like he does. He's trying to get it away. Neath ultimate going to land after the fact. Going to stun him inside. There goes the Sacred Monkey. One crit after the fact. Infused Strikes is huge there for Humbots. If you don't know, after an ability use, he will get an increased crit chance afterwards. And so you see when he used the Sacred Monkey blinked in, the first hit that he had was a crit. Big numbers there for him. So now after they kill in the jungle on Tyr, they have no one to worry about on the right side of the map. They're going to go for this tower.
Yeah, they can keep up the pressure from the right. Meanwhile, left side, Apollo's had to recall, so Neath's going to get some free pressure on that side too. Agilitas really playing the map fantastically well so far. Keeping control of buffs wherever possible. You can even see Humbats using this opportunity to steal away some extra XP from Tyr in the jungle.
Love it.
Just to keep him down as well. Really good decision making from the whole team. The rotations are fantastic now. Gold lead is 6,000 ahead at the moment. If we can have a quick look at the XP, 9,000 XP, nearly 10 right now, Drybear. 10,000 XP lead.
Trying to fight off here. Yeah, huge. Definitely huge. And experience is really big in the early stage of the game. Now, a lot of times we don't look at experience because it's usually in tandem with gold, but 3,000 experience in the lead here for Agilitas is big. Not only that, but, you know, Valhalla hasn't really been put on the board yet. Scylla in trouble yet again. The knockup, the stun from Blaze, right, the blinking, the Gunner's fight, and then one hit from the backfire is going to be enough to finish off the Scylla. This is why you don't pick Scylla mid, ladies and gentlemen. It can work against certain matchups. Vulcan is one that's decent, but there's just so many bad matchups for Scylla in the mid lane. She's so abusable, and, you know, it's akin to Hobwa, where, you know, if you're caught out, you're just dead meat. Even though she does have that blink away, Agilitas is just abusing the fact that they put such a squishy character in the mid lane.
So just on its own, 2 towers down in favor of Agilitas now. They've already got the first Gold Fury as well, so they're looking to keep rotating, looking at the position to try and pick off kills and take objectives time after time. Getfish is a bit overextended here. Murder's coming in behind on that.
No ultimate.
He should be safe. The ultimate's coming out with the
He can't fly.
Is he waiting for it? No, he's patient. He was going to do it, but he changed his mind in that situation, so Getfish just backs out for the time being. But 7-0 lead now.
You know, I'm wondering why, since Gold Fury was down, why he didn't just go for the ultimate there, buying my murder. But Neath ultimate primed up here. Humbot's ready to jump up the wall. His Beardo Evil is ready. Look for the initiation right under Humbot's. There goes the fear right into the wall. Apollo has a dash. Does he have an ultimate available? He does not just yet. Parvus burst it down. Sacred Monkey. It's not going to land there. Rotation coming out from Scylla from the mid lane. Junkwei is there. Tyr's about half HP. It's Vulcan got a good harass off there. Level 13 Vulcan. You don't mess with that.
No, you don't. I mean, Valhalla right now, what they need to do is ward up. They really need to ward up their own side of the jungle because they're getting rotated on constantly. You can see Agilitas are looking for pressure wherever possible. They're putting it on this duo lane right now. 3 members here, including the jungler, looking to try and take this tower down.
Mid
The
lane.
tower's dropping slowly.
Still escapes just barely there. Left side, right tower does go down there. Good Serenade, but
Yeah,
Odin traps
nice
inside. Oh boy, there goes initiation. John Quake ultimately do a lot of damage here. Apollo's gonna get a kill on Odin. John Quake goes down, but Humbots escapes.
Here comes
That's what I'm
Vulcan.
talking about.
Vulcan coming over as well, landing the meatball, keeping the pressure on Get Fisher as well. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Earthshaker there. I don't know, he was on cooldown, that's why. But yeah, left tower now goes down again. 9-1 in favor of Agilitas. Gold lead stretching nearly 9k at 11.5 minutes in this game. Meanwhile, nothing's going right for Valhalla now. I feel they really need to ward. Like at the moment, they've got wards in their inventory. They're just not putting them down. And until they do so, they're going to keep giving up jungle control. And jungle control without the towers means that they're not going to know exactly where they're going to get rotated on next.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that there's no counterplay coming out from Valhalla. They're just playing, like along a script. They're just buying the items in the order they normally buy them. They're buying, the active items in the order they normally buy them. And I think the biggest issue that we're seeing here is Scylla, a great example from Valhalla as no counterplay coming out from them. She's been initiated on 3, 4, 5 times in her own lane. Huge amount of initiation. She has no active items. She hasn't picked up Purification Bead. She hasn't picked up Each Damage. She hasn't picked up anything. But here's some gold free attempts from there. Ubot's ultimate, big damage, big hit there. Apollo ducking in time of the 4. There goes the burst of the crush. There's the lot to Nuwa backing off. Monster's not going to land there. Scylla backing off. Odin has no ultimate to trap him inside. Sentinel from over the wall. They're going to escape, but the gold free did go the way of Agilitas, and now the towers are exposed.
Yep, 1-for-1. Gold Fury goes down, but overall, definitely in favor of Agilitas again. I'll take a death and a kill to the enemy team in favor of a Gold Fury pickup, that's for sure, in this situation. So, really nicely played by Agilitas yet again. They're just going to rotate around. And that's a surrender vote at 12 minutes. That was really fast. I'm not surprised overall by how that game went, but it was quite surprising to see them surrender so quickly. Like, you've always got to have hope, When you're playing these games, there's always a chance. Look at 5i, for example. They have a really, really big... They're very, very used to it with 5i to, like, when they're behind, dealing with stuff. But hopefully we're going straight into the next game, Dry. That's really quick.
Yeah, I mean, 10-2 is a very strong showing, and something we would have expected from Agilitas, considering their separation in the seeding charts there to start off. Murder with a 0-1 and 10. Oh man, literally Odin, played by Murder, was part of every single kill that happened on Agilitas. And that's the power of support early on. And if you're wondering why Odin was first picked so quickly by Agilitas, this is the reason right here. They wanted to make sure that they had him locked in. Now, Sun Kong, also a very strong pick. But when I look at Valhalla and I wonder what went wrong for them, number one, I'm going to say putting Scylla in the mid lane with no plan of action for it. I mean, you really have to protect Scylla in that fact. And not only that, but they also have to be careful that when you're being initiated on so heavily, especially with someone like Scylla, you gotta buy actives. You cannot risk it. I mean, getting the boots done, that's great. Getting, Voidstone or, Polynomicon, Bancross, whatever the case may be, is great, but you need to have Purification Beads, especially with Humbots in the jungle, Vulcan knocking you up, rotation from the Nuwa, and the Neath ultimate's guaranteed every time. You're going to get stunned by something. You have to have Purification Beads to avoid that gank, and he just never picked it up. It really, when it comes down to, you have to counter pick against your opponents.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to take that into account every single time to see what happens. I mean, when you get to those situations where you are being the focused target of the enemy team, you have to really abuse that wherever possible and make sure that you actually buy those actives earlier and stop building on your build. So she went for the Doom Orb, didn't work out for her in the end. Because of the fact she died so much, she couldn't get the stacks at the same time as the actives. With all those rotations, did not work out well at all.
No, it didn't, and that's something you really have to be careful about, is that you have to wonder what's going on, in the mid-state of the game as you start to transition when the team fights start coming out here. So brackets will be coming up on screen. You can see how things are progressing right now. Cloud9 had the bye, now facing off against Big Boys in round 2. We have Worth Gaming up against Bloody Techie, a great game to watch, but what will be streamed on screen here. We're going to have Team Coast Blue versus Exposed Secrets coming up next, and that is actually a fantastic match to watch. So, Team Coast Blue, of course, invited to the launch event. We're going to have Exposed Secrets, also comprised of very, very strong contenders, Shadow Nightmare being one of them, in fact, one of the old players with Spoo, but they're just not going to have it. And it's, of course, with Shadow Nightmare separating, making its own team and coming together. Exposed Secrets is actually rated higher than Team Coast Blue here. SK Gaming, of course, was his old team as well. So, we're going to see what's going on there. We're going into this. I mean, what are you expecting to see?
Like, going into this, we're expecting to see from the teams?
Right. I mean, the whole matchup here. I mean, Team Coast Blue, a very tenured team, but Exposed Secrets seems to be doing much better.
Coast did not have a great start last week. I mean, Coast overall really struggled in the first early rounds. They got knocked out, I believe it was by Worth Gaming. So Worth Gaming, did do a great job against them overall, and Worth Gaming beat Exposed Secrets as well. So it's interesting to see how this one's going to play out. I mean, overall, Coast really needs to perform like they did at the launch tournament, and show that they are one of the top teams to be contended with. Just like SK. I mean, SK is another team that needs to be doing as well. I mean, SK Gaming had a really bad week last week. They've gone through the first round this time, so hopefully things will be looking good for them. I've got SK to probably sneak fourth place this time, but in this game, especially focusing on Team Coast, I'm going to go with Coast because I think after last week, they're probably going to step up the game a bit more.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to. I mean, every single week has to be stepped up a little bit. I mean, you're going to kind of wonder how things are going to go. I mean, 12 weeks of qualifiers. You have regionals. It's going to be huge. A lot goes into that as well. And so you're wondering, can these teams perform when they haven't before? Frosty, Shadow Nightmare, Proxy QQ, Zalia, all these big names you expect to see from Exposed Secrets. Now, Zalia, a big fan favorite. Proxy QQ, a strong player, has been in the competitive scene ever since its inception in 2012. And so, you look at Exposed Secrets, and it's a team that you haven't really seen before, but when you break it down, you look under the hood, you look at the players that are on, and you're thinking, okay, I've seen all these players before, so definitely a strong lineup. So we're going to cut to a brief break as we go right into the next game here. It's going to be Exposed Secrets versus Team Coast Blue, a match you don't want to miss. We're going to be right back. We got it all set up for you, and we'll see you soon.